He did it on the East Coast. He did it on the West Coast. He even did it off the coasts of Alaska and Hawaii. Barack Hussein Obama signed executive order after executive order to block fishermen from plying their trade in millions of acres of ocean. It didn't stop at fishing, but he did seem to have a certain fetish about water. Perhaps it was all the overseas traveling he did as a kid, or perhaps it was all the overseas travel he did on vacation as president. Whatever the reason, BHO appears to have had an obsession with water. Now, his last waters of the United States, WOTUS, executive order, signed only days before Trump's inauguration, has come into focus. And once again, we see President Donald Trump reversing a damaging Obama order. The Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, announced Tuesday, to the delight of rural America, that the Trump administration is moving to rescind the Obama-era's Waters of the United States, WOTUS, regulatory rule. WOTUS gave the federal government effective authority over water use on 247 million acres of American farmland. EPA Administrator Scott Pruitt, together with Secretary of the Army for Civil Works Douglas Lamont, signed a proposed regulatory rescission of WOTUS. As soon as the proposed rule change can be published in the Federal Register, under docket ID No. EPA HQOW 2017-0203, the public will have a 30-day comment period to review and revise the definition of waters of the United States. The Obama administration's WOTUS regulatory expansion cleverly redefined the term navigable waters to include intermittent streams. Environmental activists hailed the WOTUS's expansion of federal jurisdiction over land and water use as an essential common-sense rule to protect water for wildlife and drinking water supplies for 117 million Americans. The only problem was that WOTUS gave federal regulatory control over any land surface that had ever experienced rainflow, had been flooded, or had irrigation ditches. Which is just downright wrong. Obama and the Democrats are all about big government and more federal control, sort of ironic, given the anti-government stance the leftists took back in the 60s. Quite the reversal, huh? And little by little, inch by inch, Trump is baby-stepping forward into the history books as being the president of the 21st century who ceded federal power back to the states.